do Europeans have any concept of anything? Is the question. No, they're Europeans are part of this failed experiment, the European Union, which was supposed to elevate a unified Europe to be a world power, collectively world power. The collective power of these nations create this singularity called the European Union that would be able to stand on equal footing with the United States and Russia and China and all these people. It's a joke. It's falling apart. I mean, Germany, government's collapsed. Scholz has an election coming up. If things stand the way they are right now, Alternative for Deutschland is going to win. And when they win, they're out of the European Union. That's the thing that their leaders have promised. And the German people seem to be okay with that. And the second you get a German exit, that's it. That's the end of the European Union. It's going to collapse like a house of cards. So who the hell cares about Europe? Really, what relevance does Europe have? NATO, you have Mark Rutte sitting there talking. First of all, Mark, take a tranquilizer so that when you talk, you're still. But he's worse than Stoltenberg. I mean, he's just twitching all over the place because he's nervous. Why is he nervous? Because NATO's falling apart. They have these plans they can't afford. Germany is the economic heart of Europe, and it's collapsing. And you want to build a 300 to 500,000 new NATO force with all new equipment and all that? Christ, I want to build a extension on my house too, but my bank account won't support it. Who's going to pay for this? We're going to increase our defense spending from 2% or 3% to 5%. No, you're not. No, you're not. One or two nations might do it for a quarter or not, then their economy will collapse. Germany's definitely not. France isn't. Who else is there? Poland? Denmark? The Baltic states are going to save us. This is just ridiculous. Ridiculous. They don't have the economies to back this up. Their societies are collapsing as we speak. And so NATO is just basically throwing out visions of this, that, and the other thing, the things they want to do. They can't do any of them. They can't do any of them. They can't afford it. So I don't think we're going to have to be talking about what the Europeans think for too much longer. I think they're in a lot of trouble. I think they started something back in early 2022 when they tried sanctioning Russia to death, and it's backfired on them big time. And they already had a lot of problems, a lot of systemic problems. European Union has never been this thriving, wonderful family of nations. They've always been bickering, and you're starting to see that bickering now as the East recognizes the West is not going to be there for them. And they're desperately trying to win over Donald Trump, but Donald Trump's not going to salvage them. Europe can't exist. NATO can't exist without the United States. And Donald Trump does not want to be a member of NATO because he recognizes it for what it is. It's a giant sump that we just pour money into. Pour money. We get nothing out of it. Nothing out of it. And Trump is just going to cut free. And when that happens, that's the end of NATO. That's the end of the European Union.